Welcome back to another episode of Pie Guy and Brodeur. One voice, two minds. I'm your host, Pie Guy, and before we begin, always remember, you can find the rest of these amazing, pie-tacular episodes and this one-of-a-kind podcast on YouTube, on the one and only Brodeurland YouTube channel, and of course, Spotify. Now, today on this episode, we're going to be talking about the word optimism, being optimistic. That's right. And we're going to go and talk about what exactly does it mean and how can we apply it into our everyday lives. Now, to help me do this, I will be circling back to the one, the only, that's right, drum roll please, Brodeur of Brodeurland, Mr. Brodeur. Hey, Pie Guy. That is right. We will be talking about optimism. How can we be optimistic? And you know what, Pie Guy? Here's the deal. Did you know being optimistic isn't all about putting positive and happy thoughts in our brains? What, Mr. Brodeur? I honestly thought that's what optimism, being optimistic is all about. Putting those positive, helpful, and encouraging thoughts in our brains. That is part of it, but that is definitely not the core. There's more to being optimistic and having that optimistic mindset, Pie Guy, that we have to look at, that we've got to explore. And you know what? I'll give you a little hint. Part of it is, do you have the confidence amongst yourself to really push yourself forward to become optimistic? Ooh, I love it, Mr. Brodeur. So let's do this. I'm ready to dive on in, and I'm ready to slice into this word of the week right here, optimism. So here we go, Mr. Brodeur. Let's start off like we usually do. And so, what does it mean to be optimistic? And you know what? How can we be more optimistic in our lives? Especially since you said it's not all about positive thoughts. Yes, Pie Guy, most definitely. So, great question. And here we go. I want to start off with that Brodeurland definition for optimism. And this is my Brodeurland definition. And it goes like this. You have to have an attitude of hope and confidence that will help you venture to success in a positive future while working towards your goals. See, Pie Guy, here's the deal. And again, I'll say it again. The big thing about being optimistic is it's not all about just those positive thoughts. I heard you once, Mr. Brodeur. And again, you're kind of blowing my mind a little bit, Mr. Brodeur, because like I said earlier, I thought the main idea of being optimistic is having a positive mindset. And you know what, Pie Guy? You're not wrong. And it's true, but here's the thing. You can't just feed your mind with positive thoughts because it doesn't automatically make things better. It doesn't necessarily move you along on your goals and things you're working to achieve. You have to have hope combined with confidence. You know, Mr. Brodeur, I feel like every time we talk about a word, whether it's, I guess you could say this one, optimism, or maybe last week, self-reliance, I feel like most of these words you're always bringing up confidence. Well, Pie Guy, here's the deal. I've learned that in anything you do, no matter how small to how big, confidence is always the X factor. And like I have said before, all these words connect with each other. They're like building blocks. And to become that best version of yourself, that confidence is the glue you need to really piece these words together in your life. And that's why confidence is my first goal for Brodeurland, right? And by building confidence, you can get to the second goal, which is to become that best version of yourself. Now, Mr. Brodeur, let me stop you here for a second. I know you've explained your goals and things of this nature already in other episodes, but can you elaborate on your goals one more time for us? Well, sure thing, Pie Guy. So, to be honest, my two Brodeurland goals, they start with me. I wanted years back to build confidence in myself. And that's why that's literally the first goal, because that's what I started at. I started at working on building confidence in myself. And I would always second guess myself and not really be brave or confident enough to try new things, push myself, to be better, right? And I allowed fear to really hold me back. And like I've said many a times before, whether it's been in videos, podcast episodes, and around the beginning of 2023, I started reading the Bible each day. And within 4 months, I got the awakening I needed to go out there, to try and really build my confidence. Why keep living the same way, right? That was my question. Why keep wishing for something to change and still getting the same outcome or results because I wasn't willing to change, right? Now, Mr. Brodeur, wasn't this when Brodeurland was born or created? Well, yes, Pie Guy, and here's the deal. 2023, Bible in the year, those 4 months, that was pretty much the spark. That was the moment, the time, whatever you want to call it, where I decided, you know what? Something needed to be done. Something needed to change. The outcome was still the same, and I wasn't happy with the outcome, right? So I had to do something. And that's when I started to watch, read, listen to influential people like Tony Robbins or Jim Rohn or Nito Cobain, and of course, the Bible to give me the knowledge, to give me the mindset, to give me the wisdom that I needed to march forward with a new confidence and try new things. Those people, those readings, my own experiences gained me the wisdom, gained me the experience I needed to build my confidence and the will to push the limit and to branch out to try new things. And in turn, this led to Brodeurland, my videos, my songs, my strategies, and the confidence I needed and still need to keep pushing the limit, to keep seeing what else I can do to grow, to become that best version of myself. Pie-tacular, Mr. Brodeur. So, you must be at this point super confident and nothing gets in your way. Well, Pie Guy, I wish that was true, but it's not that easy. And of course, I still have moments of fear that I let creep in and I have to slay on a daily, weekly basis. But the key is confidence. It took me time. It took me years to build. But the moment you start, the moment you begin on this journey of really trying to become that best version of yourself, right? To really trying to master these words of the week, that's the moment you can start to grow. I mean, just looking back to when I began on this journey in 2023, to a year later, to now, what a difference. What a growth. I mean, I'm just shocked. I thought, man, a year after that moment, wow, I'm making amazing gains. Then I look at myself now to then, I'm like, what? I'm nothing compared to where I am now, right? Because I kept pushing myself, because I kept building confidence, and I'm still building confidence today. You see, we can get discouraged really easily because we want instant growth, instant gratification, instant results. But the thing is, you cannot connect the dots of your life in the moment, but you can reflecting back. You got to be patient. And in time, you'll see the growth. In time, your confidence will grow. And in turn, that optimistic mindset you're trying to build will come. It will happen. Wow, Mr. Brodeur. Here, you are again branching all these words of the week together from, I believe you said reflective, to patience, to optimism. I mean, confidence is just gluing all this together. And I love seeing all these words come together. Now, we have gotten a little bit on this tangent on confidence. So can you swing us back and blend this in with optimism, which of course is our main focus today? Sure thing, Bye Guy. And I love that we talked about confidence because, again, it is the foundation to so many things, to so many of these words of the week, right? They're the glue. They're the glue to the building blocks. So let me use this quote to really branch things back together by Melinda Gates. And she says this: optimism isn't the belief that things will automatically get better. It's the conviction that we can make things better. Again, Pie Guy, being optimistic is not all about having positive thoughts continuously flow through my brain. No, that is only the beginning. But you see, if all I do is think positive thoughts, That's not going to change things overnight. You have to believe in those thoughts. You have to believe and have the confidence that you can make things happen, that you can turn things around, and that you can and that you will. If all you do is put positive thoughts in your mind and you don't do anything with them, then your sense of optimism, your optimistic mindset is going to slip away. You can't let that happen. Definitely not. Take those positive thoughts, that positive mindset, and allow it to fuel you and allow it to make you believe so you can build that confidence. So you can and you will. Time to march forward. Do something with those thoughts and make a difference. The key here is what's the action that you're going to do? What are the next steps that you're going to do? You got to do something. So use that newfound confidence fueled by those positive thoughts to go out there and make a difference, to start doing something right now. It's choice time. What are you going to do? I see, Mr. Brodeur. So like you were just saying a second ago, positive thoughts are like the sparks, that motivation to optimism. But that confidence is what will push you forward and allow you to spread your wings and venture out to be a better version of yourself. That action, that next step. Yes, Pie Guy, I love what you just said. The next step. And you know what? Helen Keller's quote right here sums it all up. And it goes like this: optimism is the faith that leads to achievement. Nothing can be done without hope and confidence. To be optimistic, sure, you got to feed your mind with those positive thoughts. You have to have a positive mindset. And yes, we've talked about the confidence piece, right? But also, we have to talk about the hope piece. Mr. Brodeur, what about it? Can you please elaborate, especially on this hope piece? Yes, most definitely, Pie Guy. So you have to have faith in yourself. And you have to have courage. You put the two together, it becomes faithful courage. Interesting, Mr. Brodeur. Faithful courage. It sounds a lot like you branched hope and confidence together. Yeah, Pie Guy, you got it. And first, let's talk about the faithful part, okay? Because we've talked about the courage, we've talked about a little bit of the confidence, but faithful, what does it mean? And for me, I use this definition in my high school, Sunday school class every week. And for me, when it comes down to faith, this is what I think every day. Every time I wake up and I try a brand new day. It goes like this. You got to surrender to God's will and you got to surrender to God's intellect. So faith, if we branch it down to the subset of who we are, right? I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to surrender over to God, but now I got to have faith in my abilities, in my skills, in my gifts that I have, and have that courage and confidence to go out there and use them for good. Use them to make a difference. Use them to help others. You have to be faithful to yourself, and you have to believe in yourself. You have to believe you can and you will move forward to achieve what you are trying to achieve, even during the grind or during those dry spells when you feel like, taking a break or giving up. No, you can't do that. You got to continue to believe in your abilities and keep moving forward. Now, Mr. Brodeur, let me pause you here for a second. Did you or do you currently have any dry spells you had or right now have to fight through? Yes. I mean, I'm human, Pie Guy, and even right now, as a department chair of the 8th grade math team, I find myself in mental situations and times I lose confidence in myself, and I have to remind myself, I have this. I have to have that faithful courage in myself, right? And I am open to improving, but also I must be confident in those abilities that I have. Now, to help my team and myself push forward and really be successful. Even at times when we don't see eye to eye, and I really need to bring us back together and make sure at the end of the meeting, at the end of the day, we're all still moving downstream together, working as best as we can amongst our common goal, right? And that is to get these students to be successful, right? Even when I started making the videos for Brodeurland or wanted to try out new songs or add a whole structure to Brodeurland, I would start out with excitement, of course, because I'm like, yeah, let's try this. But as the newness wore off and weeks would stretch out, I could feel myself wanting to quit. Those negative thoughts racing in. No, I could not let that happen, even though I would get in a funk for a week or two, sometimes even a month. I mean, we get ourselves into these negative tailspins. You can't allow those tailspins to weigh you down, right? To bring you out of focus. That is when you have to remind yourself why you started in the first place. That is what I had to do. I had to tell myself, hey, I started this to change and mold the minds of my students, even myself, and to fulfill God's will in my life and in this classroom. Wow, Mr. Brodeur, thanks for sharing. I guess you are human, and I love it when you can be vulnerable with us. And we can learn from your experiences. I am too, Pie Guy, and that is what this podcast is all about, is sharing with you all that I struggle. And I use these words in my life every day, and even these videos and podcasts. Sometimes I got to listen to them. Sometimes I watch them, and they're a big slap in my face. And I'm like, look at me. Where's this mentality now, right? And it's a wake-up call. And that's the power of faithful courage. Can I believe in myself? Can I have the courage to keep moving forward, even during those dry spells, those tailspins, and tough times? Even when I feel like I want to give up. No. You got to have that optimistic mindset and that faithful courage to really power through and to make a difference. Well, Mr. Brodeur, we're getting to that time where we've got to wrap things up. So, is there anything else you would like to share before we have to go? Of course, Pie Guy. And I want to wrap things up with this quote right here by Nelson Mandela. And he says this: part of being optimistic is keeping one's head pointed towards the sun and one's feet moving forward. So, Pie Guy, again, being optimistic, if we were going to sum up everything, first, sure, you have to have a positive mindset. And you have to have that faithful courage in yourself. Faith to believe in those abilities of yourself. Courage to face those negative and hard situations, those negative thoughts, and tell yourself you can and you will. But another aspect of being optimistic is you have to work on your body language. Mr. Brodeur, body language? Yes, Pie Guy, you heard me right. Body language. You see, you have to be willing to stand tall and walk with a purpose. Literally. I can tell you this by practicing this every day. When I come into work, I try to walk with a little bounce to my step and with a little confidence. I try to hold myself up. Even when maybe the drive there, I've kind of had these negative thoughts and I'm like, oh, I'm not really looking forward to this Monday or this day or whatever's going on, right? But I can tell you this. The moment I walk in and I walk to my classroom ready to go, holding myself high up and really walking with a purpose, that not only reinforces my positive thoughts, but it tells my body I'm ready for the day. And I have that faithful courage to seize the day. But when I have to do it, when I'm slouched over, when I'm tired, when I throw in the towel, man, and I really let my body language really slip away, I'll be honest, that affects my mindset, my optimistic mindset, my positive mindset, and I start to think negative. You can't let that happen. Definitely not. You've got to hold yourself high. You got to march forward, and you got to have that faithful courage. That's right. Faithful courage. So you can tell yourself you can and you will. So you, yes, you can become that best version of yourself. Pie-tacular, Mr. Brodeur. Thanks again for sharing and today really diving into optimism. I am excited to start building that confidence in myself, to go out there with faithful courage, to believe in my abilities, and to see what I'm made of. And like we talked about earlier, I love the idea of how this confidence is the glue to all of these words of the weeks and these future words of the weeks. Can I keep branching them together, right? to push myself forward. Amazing. And remember, my friends, stay infinite and don't put limits on yourself. Expand your horizons. And Mr. Brodeur, if you can finish us in style, sure thing, Bye Guy. So always remember, you all make each day a special day by just you being you. There's no one in the whole world like you except you, and I like you just the way you truly are. It's good that you exist, but you got to go out there. You got to feed your mind not only with positive thoughts, but you got to have that faithful courage to believe in your abilities and to have that bravery and courage to push yourself through so you can be optimistic and become that best version of yourself. So until next time, Broder out. Peace.